Most religions, because of their doctrines and principles, have successfully helped parents to kill their children's dreams. Hello everyone, welcome to this section of The Underrated Truth. I'm still your friend Chinyaka Florence. In my last section, I spoke on generational trauma, and today I'll be speaking on religious trauma. I also intend to speak on the major types of trauma in this section, after which I will go back to explain in details on each trauma. Let's dive into religious trauma. When I'm talking about religious trauma, I'm not centering my point on a particular religion. I'm actually speaking on all religion. But I'm going to center my point on African religious cycle. Now, do you know that most rules and regulation, in fact, all rules, when it's rule and regulation, all rules and regulations and doctrines are laid down by each religion is man-made. They are man-made. I'm going to say it again. All, with the exception of none, rules and regulation, doctrines laid down by each religion, they are man-made. So why did they actually make these rules and regulation, even though they make it seem like these rules and regulation are really coming from God or from one spiritual? Why did they actually make these rules and regulation? They actually made these rules and regulation in order to be able to control the minds of their followers. It's actually to enhance the moral discipline in the society. Now, I want you to really understand this. Why they made these rules and regulation? They did not actually have a consideration, or they did not actually create a space where people can be able to choose if they want to follow them or not. No. What did they do? They pushed in these rules and regulation and doctrine. They pushed it in with fear, and then make it seem like if you don't obey it, you're actually gonna either go to hellfire or there is one severe punishment from God to you. And this is the major stronghold that they used to hold people in captive. Now, someone will be asking me, so how does it relate to trauma? How does it relate to trauma? I told you in my last video that people don't actually know that they are traumatized. They don't even know the reason why they are traumatized. It is until people started, it's until people are enlightened, until people start looking into some factors that traumatize them, they would understand better why they are traumatized. Now, coming into religious trauma, I want you to understand how it works. They don't just work on a child. They work on the major contact of the child, which is the parent, right? So I'll also tell you that the parents borrow this religious doctrines and religious teachings also. They borrow it and they enforce it into their child. They now enforce what makes it easier for the child to take it, because they now enforce it and the child sees it as they are enforcing it with love. Do you get? The child sees it that this my mother is enforcing this with love, and because this whole religious teaching starts from when they are tender, they kind of grow with it. The best way to actually hold human beings captive is to start from their tender age, to start putting them and putting their whole thinking and everything into a box. So this is what they do to the parents, and the parents do it to the child. I believe strongly that if you want to train a child better, and you really want to train this child and look at your child become who they would be, not just who you want them to be, you should be able to train this child based on your life experiences, not based on your religious doctrine or what your religious head said, based on your life experiences. Right? Fine. Now, everybody has their life experiences that has taught them that this is not good, this is good. You've made mistakes, right? As before becoming a parent, you've also lived your life, you've made mistakes, you've also learned, you must have learned from your mistakes. You must have grown from your mistakes. You must have known this is good or this is not good. You've also passed through a whole lot of hardship, and you will not want your child to pass through this hardship. All these things that you've passed through in your life will help you to know how to shape your child to be better, and help you to know how to help them to become a better version or a better person that they would want to be, not just the one you want them to be. But no, most African parents will leave all this, forget about the life they live, the lessons they're supposed to learn, the good things supposed to take from their life. They just throw all those things away. Why do we have life experiences? Why do we actually go through some things in life? Why? We're actually going through these things in life to be able to know better and help a generation to do better. We're not just going through, see, the things you're going through in life, you're not just going through those things because you just want to, because it's just, you're going through those things to be better. But unfortunately, because, there is this religious thing or stronghold that needs to be broken, it actually makes us or puts us in this thing that we don't need to think about what we've been through. We just need to, think about those principles and everything while training a child. Now, let me just put up a picture in your head, right? Imagine a young girl being born, and this young girl is being told from childhood, being taught through their parents. I'm actually referring all these things to the parents, through their parents, that listen, or their guidance to their parents, that you don't have to open yourself at all. Like, you cover yourself from your hair, you wear all those things, cover your face and cover yourself down to the leg. This is what they teach a child, and the child grows up covering her head, from her head, covering her face, all part of her face, everything. You see her covering her face. Now, I want to ask, do you understand what this does to the psychology of that child? Even though that they just unwillingly and willingly accept this, because this was something that was injected from childhood, unwillingly and willingly accept this teaching, even though they do it without having any knowledge of what it does to them. But the truth is, it does something to their mental and psychological health. That's why I think that some people can be traumatized without knowing that they are traumatized. Now, covering your face and covering your whole body so that nobody will see you also have a way of telling you that you're not even worthy to be seen. So sometimes it takes a whole lot of energy, it takes a whole lot of courage and a whole lot of strength for you to be able to break through what that thing has done to your psychological health. Right? It takes a whole lot for you to be able to break through what this has done to your mental health. Because covering your whole body from childhood to adulthood, covering your face, covering your eye, it's just your eye showing and everything, it actually toys with your mental and psychological health, and actually toys with the view of how you see yourself, and also toys with your confidence level and the view of how others see you. Now, there are some, let me also tell you that there are religion that tells you trouser is a sin, weave-on is a sin. They start teaching a child that this is a sin, and then the child grows up to some stage to see that in a way these doctrines have also shifted to start accommodating trousers and weave-on. What does it do to their mental health? It traumatizes them without them knowing. There was a time they told you that God doesn't like trouser. Now God is now accepting trouser. There was a time they told you that God does not like weave-on. Now you've grown. God is now accepting weave-on. It actually traumatizes them because of what? These are man-made rules and regulations. They don't even know which one is made by God or not. Most religion, because of their doctrines and principles, have helped parents, successfully helped parents to kill their children's dream. A lot of children that their dream have been demolished. Their dream have been killed before they were even able to dream that dream. The dream have been killed. The dream, in fact, some children have never been given opportunity to dream anything like dream because of their religion. Some religion will tell you that modeling is a sin. Pageantry is a sin. Football is a sin. Acting is a sin. They will tell you content creating is a sin. They will name all sorts of careers that a child, it might be this career that a child will do and do successfully. They will tell you that all these careers are sin. Do you know what? Most religion have structured a child's mind that if they want to dream any dream, they should not dream a dream beyond the cycle of whatever their religion, their religious things can accommodate. If you dream beyond that, then you are actually eligible to be a hellfire candidate. And now, let me tell you where the trauma comes in. When age hits on the child, they will actually tend to see themselves that if they were doing this or if they have done this, they could have been better. Yes. But there was no space or opportunity for them to do that. There are people who wanted to do one or two things, but they could not actually do that thing because of the fear of, what would my mother say? And let me tell you, it's not just what would their mother say. What would their mother say is coming from the religious doctrine that their mother have actually locked them into. Because if you remove religion and the doctrines from their mother will actually give them freedom to become who they are. But because their mother has been locked and caged and enslaved in that religious doctrine and rules and regulation, they have been enslaved. So because they have been enslaved, their children too have been enslaved. And all this processes traumatizes a child. Most religion does not allow a child to be a child. Most religion does not even allow a child to see who they are. You are always seeing yourself in the light of your religion. You always see yourself how your pastor wants you to be seen, how your mother's religious head wants you to be seen, how your father's religious head wants you to be seen, how the doctrine and the rules and laid down rules and ritual want you to be seen, not how you want to be seen. So I can really tell you that most religion has killed so many careers, so many destinies. They have killed and buried it successfully. They have ended so many people's, in fact, like I said before even the child will even dream a dream, they have even stripped them of the right to dream, stripped them of the right to even have a vision, stripped them of the right to be who they are. They have successfully traumatized a lot of people. And the worst part of this thing is that even till these people get old, they will never know it's their religion traumatizing them, because they will always run back to this and also carry on to this and carry it on to another generation. They will keep enslaving the enslaving generation. I am not saying that the religion you're practicing is not good. No, I have my own religion I'm practicing. But when you are actually practicing that religion based on the doctrine, like when you are enslaving your child based on the doctrines and the rules and regulation of that religion, and when you are not able to train your own child based on life experiences, it's only based on your religious head experience, that's where I have a problem with it, because you are killing and traumatizing that child. And religious trauma is even worse than generational trauma. It is actually worse, because breaking out from religious trauma takes a whole lot of strength and energy. You can actually say, oh, this is generational trauma, I can break out of it. But to break out of religious trauma, In a religious home and environment, it takes a lot. Mostly, people that their religion does not even give them the right to say this is who they want to be. This is how they want to live their life.